Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, may the peace and blessings of the Lord be with you always. We rejoice to have you among us again, and we pray that each new day will be an opportunity to experience your love and grace. Today we invite you to join this spiritual community even more deeply by subscribing to our channel to receive inspiration and guidance on your journey of faith. Don't let a single message escape you. We are convinced that what we share here will be light in the midst of the darkness of these difficult times. Father Petar Ljubicic, an unwavering beacon of hope and spiritual guidance, has dedicated his life to sharing urgent and profound messages from Medjugorje, that blessed corner of Bosnia and Herzegovina, where the maternal love of the Virgin Mary continues to touch hearts. Their mission, forged by absolute devotion, reminds us that we live in a world increasingly disconnected from God, mired in moral confusion and spiritual crises. Father Petar's call is clear. We must prepare ourselves spiritually, remain vigilant, and hold on to our faith as we face temptations that seek to divert us from the divine path. Father Petar's journey began with a heavenly warning, a message directly inspired by the Virgin Mary. She calls us to awaken, especially in these turbulent times where secular culture and modern pressures threaten to distance us from eternal truths. This is no ordinary calling. It is a wake-up call for all Christians. Father Petar's teachings resonate as a powerful reminder. Our spiritual preparation cannot be ignored or postponed. The current challenges are not merely external. They penetrate deeply into our soul, leading us to disconnect from God when we need His closeness most. With concern, Father Petar watches as churches, once filled with devout, faithful, now face growing voids. Vocations to the priesthood are decreasing, and many have given up the active practice of their faith. These signals are not simple statistics. They reflect a spiritual crisis that cries out for immediate attention. Fragile faith, eroded by seemingly small commitments, can lead us to lose our connection with God without even realizing it. However, Father Petar offers us a message of hope. Prayer is the shield that can protect us from worldly distractions and strengthen our resolve. For those who feel overwhelmed by the demands of modern life, Father Petar's message is compelling. Faith is not passive. It is a precious gift that must be nourished daily through prayer, penance, and communion with God. In times of uncertainty, when the world seems chaotic and unstable, it is our living faith that will sustain us. As we draw closer to God, embracing spiritual practices and committing to a deeper relationship with Him, we will find the strength to resist the waves of moral decay that attempt to drown us. Father Petar's teachings are not simply words. They are a call to action. It urges us to prepare ourselves spiritually, strengthening our hearts and minds against the forces that seek to lead us astray. Looking at the current state of the world, with its growing struggles and challenges, it is evident that we cannot afford to be passive. We must take up the mantle of faith, embrace prayer, and commit to spiritual practices that prepare us for the trials to come. The message of Medjugorje, transmitted through Father Petar, is one of urgency and hope. He invites us to remain vigilant, to pray and to prepare for the challenges we face today. As we navigate this period of spiritual testing, let us remember that God never faith, trusting that, with the guidance of the Virgin Mary and the power of prayer, we will emerge stronger than ever. Stay strong, and let's continue this journey together. May God bless you abundantly and guide you always in His infinite love. Father Petar's ministry is deeply rooted in the conviction that spiritual revival and commitment to prayer are essential to meeting the challenges of today's secular world. At the heart of its mission is the desire to help people reconnect with their faith, especially in communities where religion is ignored or rejected. He firmly believes that overcoming faith, trusting that, with the guidance of the Virgin Mary and the power of prayer, we will emerge stronger than ever. Stay strong, and let's continue this journey together. May God bless you abundantly and guide you always in His infinite love. Father Petar's ministry is deeply rooted in the conviction that spiritual revival and commitment to prayer are essential to meeting the challenges of today's secular world. At the heart of its mission is the desire to help people reconnect with their faith, especially in communities where religion is ignored or rejected. He firmly believes that overcoming the spiritual vacuum created by secularism requires fostering a sense of solidarity among believers. Through community prayer and collective worship, Father Petar seeks to equip people with the tools necessary to preserve and strengthen their faith, no matter how difficult times are. Father Petar has witnessed the profound transformation that occurs when Christians pray together. During his travels, he has seen how collective prayer becomes an inexhaustible source of strength. When believers come together, they create a spiritual force that fuels their own faith and serves as a beacon of hope for others who struggle. This collective force, more powerful than individual prayer, offers comfort and uplifts the soul in times of doubt. For those who feel disconnected from their spiritual roots, these prayer groups become lifelines, spaces where they can experience the presence of God and feel supported by others who share their faith. Despite facing significant criticism from both secular society and some Christian communities, Father Petar remains steadfast in his mission. In an era of materialism, skepticism, and growing atheism, the message of Christianity is not always well received. Yet he presses forward with unwavering resolve, knowing that every soul touched by God's grace is a monumental victory. For him, the challenge is not just to spread a message, but to reach people's hearts, helping them rediscover their connection with God and inspiring them to live a life of faith, even in the face of adversity. A central element of Father Petar's teachings is the concept of hope. As he presents it, hope is not a passive desire, but a dynamic, motivating force that compels believers to persevere. Based on the belief that God's love and redemption are always available, this hope forms the foundation on which Christians can build their spiritual lives, even when the world seems overwhelming and faith seems under attack. Father Petar insists that hope is what keeps us moving forward. It is this hope that allows people to continue their spiritual path, regardless of the difficulties they face. This understanding of hope as an active force is the cornerstone of Father Petar's spiritual perspective. He encourages believers to remain vigilant in their faith and deeply committed to their spiritual life. For him, hope is not a fleeting emotion, but a constant energy that sustains the soul, especially in moments of prayer and reflection. It is this hope that has sustained him throughout his ministry, reaffirming his commitment to the work entrusted to him by the Virgin Mary. Father Petar understands that the path to faith is not always easy, and that the world places significant obstacles in the path of spiritual growth. The pressures of materialism and secular values can make it difficult for people to remain anchored in their beliefs. However, he remains steadfast in his conviction that as long as faith endures, redemption will always be within our reach. This deeply held belief fuels his ministry and guides his tireless efforts to help others recognize the transformative power of prayer, the strength of community, and the hope that comes from a deep personal connection with God. Father Petar deeply understands that the path to faith is not a smooth path or free of obstacles. Rather, it is a journey full of challenges and trials that test the spiritual strength of those who travel it. In a world where the pressures of materialism and secular values constantly threaten to divert our attention from the divine, standing firm in faith can seem like a Herculean task. The allure of consumerism, the omnipresence of social media, and the deafening noise of modern life act as distractions that draw people away from their core beliefs. However, Father Petar, with unwavering conviction, maintains that as long as there is faith, there will always be redemption within our reach. This certainty, rooted in his heart, fuels his ministry and guides his every effort to help others discover the transformative power of prayer, the inherent strength of community, and the hope that comes from a genuine, personal connection with God. Father Petar's mission is not only a call to reflection, but a cry for action addressed to all believers. In an era marked by uncertainty and spiritual erosion, he reminds us that the true strength of our faith lies in our ability to unite in prayer, to support each other, and to never lose sight of the hope that has the power to transform lives. Through communal worship, personal devotion, and an unshakable trust in divine providence, we can cultivate the resilience necessary to face the onslaughts of our time. His message is a beacon that lights hearts, rekindles faith, and unites people in love and prayer, reminding us that God's grace will always be our guide through the darkness to the light. As a devout servant of the faith, Father Petar finds inspiration in the profound wisdom of the Virgin Mary to address the cynicism and indifference that afflicts contemporary society. Although he knows that not everyone will respond to his call, he remains unwavering in his purpose to spread the good news of salvation. Their determination is born from the belief that saving even a single soul makes all their sacrifices worth it. For him, success is not measured by statistics or numbers, but by the depth of faith he manages to awaken in those whose paths he crosses. Their mission goes beyond words. It's about transformation. Each moment of conversion, each spark of renewed faith, validates his arduous path. Carrying the messages of the Virgin Mary, Father Petar brings hope to both big cities and small towns. Although some hearts may seem hardened, there are always souls willing to listen, grow, and return to God. And it is in these people where Father Petar finds his greatest strength. He knows that, despite the challenges, his work produces fruit in the lives of those who open their hearts to divine truth. At the end of each long day, no matter how tired he is, Father Petar finds solace in prayer. In those quiet moments before the altar, you are reminded that faith is not simply an individual devotion, but a shared journey, strengthened by corporate prayers and the unity found in communion. Thus, the message of the Virgin Mary comes to life. Her guidance resonates in every connection forged through prayer and in every step taken together towards spiritual awakening. Guided by the Virgin Mary, Father Petar's message is not just a warning, but a call to prepare spiritually for the trials ahead. His teaching is clear. In the face of adversity, active optimism, community, faith, and fervent prayer are our greatest resources. With worldly temptations and challenges looming like shadows, it is through firm faith and strong community that we will navigate these turbulent times. Each soul that returns to God, each heart that rediscovers faith, represents a victory that affirms the divine purpose that unfolds in the world. Father Petar Ljubicic's journey embodies the eternal struggle between light and darkness, a battle fought not only in the earthly realm, but also in the realm of the Spirit. His unwavering commitment to spreading the light of faith makes him a living testimony of the importance of preparedness and solidarity in difficult times. Through his dedication, Father Petar embodies hope and redemption, offering a beacon of faith to those facing the storms of life. His unshakable faith reminds us all that, no matter the obstacles, faith will always lead us back to God. Thank you for joining me on this journey of reflection. Your commitment gives meaning to this exploration of faith. May the wisdom and experiences shared continue to inspire and encourage you until we meet again.